I mean, it was you were still 40 years out of a national championship.
right. And not to mention that the first time they came here, LSU got thumped pretty good by Alabama. So that
They
that
were
was
calling a legal man downfield before there was the craze in the NFL, huh?
yeah they went right down the field. They scored a
Yeah,
touchdown, came off the board, and they never got close
yeah,
again.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I remember what that was like on this campus. I can just imagine what it was like on the
Oh,
on
it's
the
great.
Indiana
I mean,
campus. They got
yeah.
a big test this week, and I know they understand that, but this is the ultimate coming off of a high like that, game day and the whole deal, and going to Michigan State, where it will be difficult. He could get them up for
But
that
Charlie, you
game.
don't think beating Nebraska, beating their brakes off like that was a big deal?
Everything they've done in the last month has been a big deal.
That was their best game, though.
It was. They blew out a
And
Nebraska
they
team
had
that
to
gave
follow
Ohio
that
State
up
all
with
they
all of
wanted.
the hoopla. Now it's all of the pomp and circumstance and all the distractions, and it was a very busy weekend, so and all of the attention. And a lot of times when they come to these nondescript places like Appalachian State needed a Hail Mary to beat Troy,
Hmm.
and sometimes
Yeah,
they get it's just too much of a distraction for them a lot of times
yeah.
for when they go, to places that aren't used to having it.
And kudos to them for handling all that. Now this is a different challenge. This is going somewhere where nobody's for you. The attention of the college football world is not on this game, but it's a damn important game for them.
I love the way they play. Um, I think at times Washington was a handful for them up front. They're not, but they pursue the football. They hit, they rap when they hit. They know how to tackle. They block. They really do. Watch them block, man. It's it's really fun to watch. I mean, and they just and they did it with a backup quarterback, and they're still going to run their offense. It's a dip down. They'd much rather have Rourke, and we're going to see the same with Penn State. I don't see how Allaire is going to play. They're a good team. They handled it. The backup quarterback, got a little some really unintentional valuable seasoning. They didn't want to
Right.
go to, down at 10-7 at halftime on the road to Madison, a look ahead spot. They didn't want to go to him. But also, Charlie, it relieves the pressure from rushing back your number one injured starter. Why? You're going to survive. You're going to be in the top 12. If you lose, you still control your own fate. I mean, it's a big game, but in your backup, to me, there's no way Aller plays. I just can't see it. I mean, the guy performed. Now they'll be able to prepare for him. They'll know, and he might. And just like it was not the same level of play they've had for most of the season, from Rourke to the kid, the backup, but they were in their offense. They weren't, and they won. So Ohio State's a bigger animal. I get it, but the kid showed that he can get it done. But why you risk it when Aller comes out there and then boom, he tears it
Right.
because he's compromised. Oh, then you're screwed because you want him back. But sort of your deal, just buy me some time. Buy me some time with the backup. And I think both of these backups, one half and a couple or a game and three quarters, both of these teams, Indiana and Penn State, have shown that they have a little depth at quarterback.
Perbula even is a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of a running threat. He ran for 28 yards in that game.
More than Allaire will run a little bit,
Little
but he's
bit,
more
yeah.
athletic than Allaire.
Yeah. So it's just another little wrinkle that you have to look at. The other game this week, this is supposed to be a gigantic game, and it's interesting, but it's been one-sided, and that's Florida and Georgia. And this is the stretch that is going to determine whether Billy Napier is going to be able to stick around. He's got 4 games against the top of the league. He's got Georgia, he's got Texas, he's got LSU, and he's got Ole Miss. So he's got 4 opportunities before they get to Florida State, if he's still there at the end of the season, to prove himself. They have played with a lot more intensity. You're down to one quarterback now, but Lagway has made some plays. Georgia, when they've been at their best, they beat the brakes off of Texas in the first half and Alabama in the second. And when they've been down, they have struggled with Kentucky and kind of played around with some lesser teams like Mississippi State. This is this is the cocktail party. This is I think the biggest rivalry for either one of those teams. You can argue Georgia Tech and Florida State, but I think this is the biggest rivalry for them. So does Florida have enough to get in there and stay with Georgia this weekend? That's another game I'm very anxious to see.
I see way more fights at the Florida State game than I do at the Florida Georgia game. Way more.
I'm not a Florida alumnus or fan.
I'm just they always fight. They always. Florida and Miami don't play every year,
right?
They
win a lot of years.
Florida State, they play on rivalry week for a reason. I mean, they fight every year, Charlie, and it's mostly because look, Georgia's getting some players from Florida. We know that a lot of people get players from Florida, but I mean the tradition's got Georgia and Auburn are a little more deep rooted. It's older, so I don't know. It's a good one, but it's going through streaks. Florida dominated this for such a long time, and now it's Georgia's run right now.
Yeah, Mark Richt had a heck of a time. Everybody did with Spurrier, but even after Spurrier left, they had some rough.
He really played around. He brought in Shockley, and Shockley was a big recruit, and he promised him some playing time as a freshman.
Yeah.
And we saw him in 2003. We saw him, what he did, huh? He looked like he was running for his life when the little Nicky turned up the blitzing on him. I mean, the
2005 game, is it the one you're talking about?
2004.
Okay. 2005 was Shockley's last. No, that wasn't his last year.
2000.
What was his best team? The one that went 11-1 and lost to Georgia.
2004
to Florida.
Because Green, they were preseason number 1. They were undefeated. Green and Shockley came in. They lost to Florida in this game.
Yeah.
He throws a pick 6.
Right.
The difference in the game.
And that was the only game they lost.
And he shouldn't have been in the game.
Right.
And so, I mean, you get what you get.
Do you give Florida? You've been fairly impressed with the fight that they've shown.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Georgia team's showing up. I mean, if it was Auburn competitive, not really a serious threat, but they were in the game.
In the fourth
quarter.
That
they competed, but they never had the ball with a chance to take the lead in the second half.
No, they were just within shouting distance in the fourth quarter.
They're respectable.
Yes,
they're respectable.
Yeah.
But not a serious threat to win that game. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Florida.
We sit here every way. You don't know where some of these upsets or these near upsets are coming.
I'd have felt a lot better about Florida's chance if this game would have been last week, coming off the Texas game, rather than giving Georgia an extra week, off of that game. But you can't make your conference schedule. It just it lands the way that it lands, and Florida's had some time to prepare for this game.
So they get Georgia in Jacksonville, LSU in Gainesville, Ole Miss is in Gainesville or Oxford?
That's in Gainesville.
Okay,
it's in Gainesville.
And who is the other one?
Well, they got to go to Texas next week.
Probably the one where they're going to be I think they'll be a little less underdog against LSU than Ole Miss, huh?
If it was right now,
Ole Miss was a favorite here.
Yeah, they were a small favorite here. It would be close. How much is against Georgia at Texas going to take out of them before LSU gets there? That's
a considerable amount.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
That's a lot. So
yeah,
I like the spot for LSU as far as
play
Florida's
last
schedule
of that group.
No,
Third.
they play Ole Miss after, but
but Ole Miss will be a bigger favorite though when they play in the last game of that stretch. So a little bit more. I mean, 5 points for home field for LSU. I mean, that's what it is, at least, when they played Ole Miss and they were underdogs. So they win the game. You adjust it a little bit. I'd say Ole Miss still about a 3 points high. Man, one power rating. Had Ole Miss number 3. Now you can't do that after with them struggling against
That's a little
against
strong.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, and the Kentucky loss looks worse and worse as we go along.
Yeah, it does.
But
LSU's coming off of a loss too, double-digit loss.
they're coming off of a double-digit loss.
Ole Miss's power rating is higher, Charlie. There will be the smallest number of those four will be LSU. Put it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I'm not telling you that's the biggest the smallest spread number of that at neutral Georgia, at Texas, LSU and Ole Miss at home. Max can vouch for me.
No, I believe you. I'm just trying to figure out why Ole Miss should have a higher power rating than LSU. With that, the Kentucky loss is worse than the USC loss. Okay, Ole Miss lost at LSU. LSU
started
lost
with
at
a higher
Texas.
power rating.
Okay.
Okay. Was it how long ago was the Ole Miss game?
4 weeks.
Okay. LSU's lost. Ole Miss lost that night, and LSU's lost since.
Okay. This is my take on it, right or wrong, and I believe you on the point spread. Okay. LSU and Ole Miss played, and LSU won. The game was in Baton Rouge. Worst loss. LSU is USC. Ole Miss, which is a neutral site, and Ole Miss is at home against Kentucky. That Kentucky is a far worse loss. Losing on the road in Baton Rouge versus losing on the road in College Station, I think, is pretty doggone close. So
How about when the two teams? How good is the USC loss in a neutral?
It's not a good loss, but
it's better. It's better than Kentucky.
It's better than Kentucky at home. Yeah. So
and how about when the two teams played? Was there home field advantage at Tiger Stadium that night?
Yeah, there was.
No, she never led.
They led at the end. they led when it mattered. I mean,
yes.
I get it. Ole Miss should have won the game, but they didn't. So
we're talking about power ratings, Charlie.
Yeah,
they are, and they deserve to be. They're better than LSU. LSU has improved now. LSU has improved, and I don't know how much Ole Miss has improved. So to your point there, but then we Nussmeier. I mean, where is he right now? I mean, he was phenomenal in the first half. He was terrible in the second half. Terrible. So I mean, what do you? I mean, we said that all the quarterbacks are inconsistent in the league. Man, that was the poster child of inconsistency.
Yeah. I guess I'm getting power rating.
Get rid of. I mean,
power rating versus what I think would happen in another game. Okay, is that what we're saying? Because if LSU and Ole Miss were playing this weekend on a neutral site, I would.
All right, LSU and Ole Miss that night. How many times at Tiger Stadium? They play 10 times. What is it?
I think LSU probably wins 6 out of 10 in Tiger Stadium.
That's generous.
Okay,
they were lucky to win that night.
They were.
Come on. Which we could give 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I give them.
Wow.
I give them an edge in that stadium. Yeah, I don't know that Ole Miss is going to come with that effort.
Okay, so you played in Oxford. These teams, how many times they win?
LSU probably wins 3, maybe 4. Something like that.
Man, look, they're the runts. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But,
I'm comparing resumes. I'm comparing resumes.
There's nobody outside of Baton Rouge that didn't think that Ole Miss should have won that game.
Can I say 2 things that I think?
They left points on the board. We know about that. LSU left points on the board against A&M. There's not as much pressure to Nussmeier maybe can. Yes, but if you're up 17. That's a completely different deal, huh?
Yeah. Are these 2 things contradictory, or can they be true at the same time? LSU has a better resume than Ole Miss, but they also, if they played on a neutral site this week, I think Ole Miss would be favored, and they're the better team. Okay. But I think LSU's got the better resume.
They're the more talented team. We saw, for instance, Ole Miss, where, they lost a couple of games, and then they slept walk through the first half, period.
Yeah.
I see them the first possession say, different intensity. They got their butts chewed at half. Boom, I'm in gaming. Give me Ole Miss minus 5.5. You know what I mean? Because that was different. And the guy, my buddy Knock at the Queens said, man, you're right. Look, just and that's an immature program. That's a program that's not used to having expectations. And I think that's a coach. So we get into it. But Charlie, man, LSU was fortunate to win that game that night, and Tiger Stadium was one of the more memorable nights that they had. For you to say, okay, we won 6 of those out of 10. No, that's a little bit much. But LSU has improved, I think, overall since then. Their defense is certainly improved.
The defense is on the
that
move.
was kind of the turning point, was it not?
Yeah,
They got some stops, and they got
in the second half.
Dixon agrees with this. They got more than enough stops to win in College Station, huh?
Yeah, if you left a bunch of points on the board there too. This is the debate they're going to have in the room. Okay, you're going to have one person saying what you're saying, which is, hey, I think Ole Miss is better. LSU was lucky to win that game, and I think they'd win if they play again.
Oh, LSU has a better resume,
yes.
But it's close. It's not. I agree, but it's not. I agree, but it's not a separation. And Ole Miss being clearly better than LSU is not a
slam dunk.
No.
They wouldn't win 10 out of 10.
No, but trust me on the power ratings. We don't underdog at home. I mean, that's a 10-point swing. I got to give them 9. We can't give that high school stadium 5 points.
Boy, that Kentucky loss just
that's ugly. They're going 1-7.
Yeah.
They're going to be 1-7.
That is going to look absolutely awful.
It's bad. And when you screw around and you just give them extra possessions instead of getting off the field and taking care of business, no, that's a mark of an immature team, a program, a coach that's not used to handling expectations. Then you got to take care of these smaller teams instead of keeping them hanging around. No argument there. We're live over here at Los Reyes. Man, I love coming over here. I go to the Queen on Saturday, and on my way home by 5:30 or 6, I make my pit stop. Miss Blair's always working behind the bar, and she takes care of me with my fajita steak tacos, the burritos. I had the shredded chicken burrito with the queso sauce. The homemade guacamole is outstanding. Happy hour is 7 days a week. It's Monday through Friday at our Coursey location, but here at the Lee location, the West Lee location off of Nicholson, it is 7 days a week, 2:30 to 6:30, including house margaritas are just $8, 20 ounce margaritas. House margaritas are just $8 during happy hour. So it's fresh. We prepare everything. Got a vast menu, so it can please anybody. Cold beer on tap. Kyle has been Nasser been in the restaurant industry for a long, long time. They do a great job. Got great wines over here. Little Camus Prisoner that I'm looking at. Camus vintage blend as well. So plenty of different.
I tried that for you. It's good.
Yeah. Plenty of different tequilas, including Casa Azul and others. So really good stuff over here. I love it, man. And three TVs behind the bar. Patio dining. It's October. It's the greatest month of the weather month, and also, man, we had a little 2-month window, so patio dining is available as well at Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Lee, just off of Nicholson.
Live at lunch from Los Reyes, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
For 8 years, Sid Edwards didn't vote to keep us safe. He's been MIA from our community media. But suddenly, he's ready to beat it. Don't buy it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. They got breaks.
Yeah. Paid for by the Louisiana Government Accountability Coalition.
This is the exact
Looking for an exciting career? Guaranteed Media is hiring. Go to Guaranteed Media.
Well, it's real simple. Ole Miss has Georgia left, and it's the committee. It's not now. They beat Georgia. That's a hell of a win. LSU doesn't have a Georgia win. I mean, because the Georgia at Texas is probably the most impressive performance. To me, it is. I mean, they destroy them, and I mean, I'll be honest, we still don't know how good Texas is. We think they're good, right? But I mean, just the way they dismantled them on the road. All the other top matchups, the home team has won in the conference. Even Ohio State, Oregon, the home team won. Man, that's on the road this time.
One site to get $500 off select inventory. Come out and celebrate with us Saturday at M&L Industries.
Well, it matters. It just depending on if the person or the committee member, it's different levels.
The rest of
Well, but Max, it wasn't like a Georgia Texas head-to-head either. I mean, it was. I mean, Oregon, Ohio State, they have the same record. Right. I can tell you who's going to be ahead of them right now. If both of them are 11-1, I'll tell you going into that who's going to be ahead. It's going to be Ohio State.
There is a portion of people who think if you have a head-to-head and you have the same record, you're automatically better. And I disagree with that.
I get it. I mean, you get a portion of people who think that fucking Anthony Richardson shouldn't get fucked up in front of them. I mean, they didn't really have that. I mean, it was like it was being like they. Yeah, there it is right there. There it is. And the Colts was handling Anthony Richardson. And then I'm hearing on the way, when they're talking about what he has, he's got to learn how to grow.
How do you learn if you don't play? And how do you get better if you don't play? Yeah. Because they want to win now.
I tell you what, there's 3 guys on the Colts, and it was his first game back, Charlie. Remember I was telling you? Lars Buckner, Taylor, those 3 guys are playing. That's complete. That Buckner was wrecking the shot. That's a bad defense, bro. I mean, they were. And then Stein gets were you with me, Max, or was you with me at the time? He threw the pick 6 and they dropped right before half. It's like 30 seconds. So let's throw the ball again. This time the guy catches it. He runs it back to like the 10. And they punch in. It's an easy 7. Get out of here quick, Charlie, so we can Randy. We're not. We're real quick.
Live at lunch with Andy. Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN.
Just remember this when we start talking about quarterbacks next year in the NFL draft. And there's a lot of not so sure things in next year's NFL draft. And we're going to get into this a lot, I'm sure, because the Saints are in play there. Nussmeier may be in play there. But just out of last year's draft.
He better not be.
Well,
if he knows what's best for him.
And we're going to have plenty of time to talk about that. And he'll have an informed decision because of who his father is for sure. But just out of last year's draft, the top 4 guys, 3 of them were quarterbacks, and 2 of them have already been benched in Anthony Richardson and Bryce Young. And very different situations, okay? But they're having this debate all day today.
Bryce Young was 2 drafts ago.
Yeah, last year's draft. The 23 draft. Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson.
That's because Richards got hurt. Yeah, early.
Because he only played 4 games.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Charlie.
So the conundrum becomes, if you take a quarterback that you know needs to develop, but he comes out and he struggles, do you want to continue to play him? If the Colts want to win games right now, Joe Flacco is a better option. But if they want to develop Anthony Richardson for the future, the only way to do that really is to play.
All right, well, Tom Brady and Nick Saban have both weighed in on this. You saw the Hard Knocks with Saban saying in front of Oberflus, saying, hey, man, there's so much pressure on these guys to play early. And the expectation, it's just not realistic, okay? And it get broke down. And the other one is Brady, like, why are they forcing these guys? This is the biggest mistake. And, what's – he's like asking, we could have talked about anything. What do you think about the league right now? I can't believe they're forcing these guys in there before they're ready.
Yeah.
He had to wait. It was unintentional. Now, there was no pressure because of the late pick, and he had a very good quarterback ahead of him, and Drew Bledsoe. But we've seen Jordan Love. We've seen the Packers approach, work. But also, I mean, Bo Nix is got skill set, but he's not that good. But he's going to be an NFL quarterback because he had 50 starts. Okay, Jaden Daniels has all kinds of ability, and he's really good. But he's prepared because he had about 50 starts. Brock Purdy would not have Mr. Irrelevant. He'd have been Mr. Last week. He'd have never made a team. No chance with his lack of measurables. He's going to get a big contract because he had 50 starts. And the word that's being thrown around that's right now, because Nussmeier's name has come up when they talk about Richardson. Richardson never played in Florida. He started with 10 games.
He was 13, but
13 games in one season.
Right.
And he was so raw, and he had so far to go. Imagine if you'd have drafted Bo Nix after his first freshman year. What a joke. This is what you'd have had. And they drafted him 4th. But he's clearly not the best quarterback to play. And Rohan told us they invest in you, they're paying you, you're going to play no matter what. But at some point, you just throw away the season. Here's the Browns again. Now they dug themselves a hole again. Can they get out of it? Here's the Colts again. This guy's clearly a better passer. Instead of these 1-2-man combo routes, you see it then tuck it and run. And Steichen's not even helping him out like he did Jalen Hurts when he was at Philadelphia and have the running component in the design runs to help him out and let those safeties cheat up where you've got some easier opportunities. But Nussmeier, and it's coming up now, and his name came up today when they're talking about it, and I'm talking about some valued contributors that I'm talking about. 25 is now the kind of the golden. You better have 25 starts in college.
He won't.
If he comes back 1 year, he'll have exactly 25. 26 if he plays both bowl games.
Oh, next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I meant for this year's draft. He
What's
won't
his
have anywhere.
rush?
And he's not been an impatient kid.
He's shown more patience. Tell me a more patient player
In the modern day?
quarterback than modern era. He is at the top of the list as being patient, but he can fine tune all of these inconsistencies. He can polish it up and just get reps. You play, you get better. I mean, why? I mean, so what if, I don't know, it could be the 20th pick, it could be the 40th pick, it could be the 15th pick, it could be the 12th pick. Next year, he's top 10. No doubt in my mind.
And he's not a guy that's afraid to bet on himself.
And I'm not making a nickel, Charlie, but I'm just hearing all the things. And finally, they're learning because of these guys. Now, Bryce Young had some, but his measurables are limited, But the starts, the amount of starts it's valuable. It's valuable, and it's one of the things that is tangible now that's going to be part of your resume. If he has 13 starts.
And his father will be able to tell him that without you worrying about some agent getting in his ear trying to cash a commission check. His father's going to tell him,
Yes.
He's going to give him the best advice he can give him. He's been a coach in the NFL for a long time. He's been a coach at the highest level in college.
And we don't talk about this now because nobody talks about it because academics don't care. Even Vanderbilt's letting in guys come in and play without their typical Vanderbilt. Can you get a college degree? That's kind of cool. That's kind of valuable. That kind of helps you. You're going to be an ex-player way longer than you are a player
and he may be,
in life.
And he's been here 4 years, so he may be graduating next spring.
He might have already graduated.
Not even sure. Not even sure.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of you real estate closings. 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service, which you get every time you call 296-0060. A great team at Legacy Title. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title.
Live at Los Reyes. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit.
What did the line do with Richardson announced Flacco? I know it moved. I think it went from like 7 to 5.5, maybe.
The competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, classes that clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video and data analysis, to improve pitching, throwing velocity, back speed, and fielding.
So, Max, I'll just say the obscure picks, whatever, the sicko, whatever, obscure. Those are ones that I do for the 500 credit per month. And now they want 2.
Swing around the parish for the breakfast 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers. The popular 18-hole Webb Park and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated GS Clark. Greg's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer from beginner to pro. So
really do.
Get into the swing of it. Your tee time online or find a course near you.
Really? No kidding. Now, check and see that UAB quarterback. Is he back? Let me look up there. I mean, I know they're a train wreck, but he gives them a little bit of a fighting chance. Basically.
You find yourself in an unfortunate situation with a law.
I told Jordan minus the hard top of the hour, hard break. He has to tell us the time. Just trying since this to Randy's on, so just
Tommy was professional, easy to work with. Tommy returned my call.
I got my money line parlay.
Tommy's
It's
installed the windows, cleaned up.
It's 156 this week. Oh, down to 153. Oh, you can't do Army. I dropped Army. Plus 140.
Why can't you use Army? Why can't you use Army? Oh, gotcha. That's just college, though, right? That's not. Yeah. I understand. Oh man, look. He held his he's holding his hand. I mean, by the wrist. Yeah. I mean, he's trying to. Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, plus the new LouisianaSports.net. New Handicast is up at YouTube right now.
Randy McKay with a good week for us last week. Rams, bam. Cleveland, bam. Tampa Bay Philly teaser, bam. Giants, Randy, I thought Giants were the right side that night. And kind of a no call on the punt return for a touchdown. Because should have been at least running into the punter, huh?
I thought he should have got a running into for sure. But
yeah.
There's two big turnovers at the
end. Good
week
for you last week, big dog. Oh, man. Yeah, including the 2-point conversion when they were down 14. And but they
screwed up the execution of that. It was like none of the players on the perimeter except the defender knew that the ball was snapped. All four of those linemen stayed there. And by the time Neighbors looked up, he had a guy wrapped around his waist.
Randy, what you did good. You told me to wait on the division with Washington, but I mean, it looks like it should be a runaway with Washington, but they're forcing threes. Is Chicago defense? They're pretty good. What is it? How many games in a row they haven't given up 20 points? Had a touchdown call back. The emphasis on illegal man downfield. Next thing you know, Chicago's in a spot, and then, man, they're handing the ball off to the offensive lineman, and then, give up the 13 yards. You don't use a timeout to kind of reset. Had 3 timeouts, by the way, did Chicago at the end of the game. So, boy, you talk about a coaching meltdown, huh, Randy? But they cut him? No, I don't think they cut him, Randy. They kind of gave him a vote of confidence or whatever. I mean, they ran it through the. No, he's a second-round pick.
From last year. They would have liked to. I'm sure they would have liked to have cut him, but no, they couldn't.
No. Exactly. The other thing is the move now, the obvious move from Richardson to Flacco. How many points difference are you seeing that it's that the odds makers have adjusted?
This, that was a Saturday game, I think.
That was a set. That was the first. That was the first of a Saturday triple header. Yeah, it was on the opening day of bowl season, and yeah, Minnesota at Minnesota. By the way, so I told Coach and Natchez, I said, Coach, you cannot cheer for this game anymore. I've got the Vikings. Okay, he was cheering for the coach. He's once it fell behind. Can I cheer now? So, but yeah, I was just telling Randy. I was just telling Charlie. Three guys though. Three guys. You got to look at the injury report for the Colts, and that is well, one is just injury. It's a a decision, and that's Flacco over Richardson. Flacco just gives them a much better. They can run a legitimate, diverse passing offense. With him. Okay, he gives Richardson. Richardson's not ready right now. Will he be ready down the road? I don't know. I don't know. He's got to be in the right spot, right system, the whole thing to even have a chance because he is going to have a hard time throwing the ball. But it's Flacco, it's Taylor, and Taylor's still, I mean, he's an impactful player. And DeForest Buckner, man, he came back Sunday and he was wrecking shop, man. He was killing his man and constantly pressuring, the Texans quarterback in this one. All right, so one of your picks is the Colts plus 5.5 this week. Okay. All right, who else we got this week, Randy? 2 5-3 teams plus 9.5. The Ravens given to the Broncos here. Anything else this week? Okay. Okay. Anything else on this week's schedule in the NFL? Okay. Oh, yeah.
21-18.
Yeah. Yeah, Giants had the kicker hurt. They tried the punter the first time on the first extra point. He was miserable, so they went for it the next 2 touchdowns. But also was 18-18 on fourth down, ran 30-yard line when Malik Neighbors dropped the ball on fourth down. And he had a wonderful game, but in that setup, Washington to come back down and kick their 7th field goal. That's a game where they did not punt on the afternoon.
I tell you what worries me about this game is the effect it has on my mental health having to root for Daniel Jones again. I think it's aging me.
Hey, look. So talk to Randy. Randy, I mean, do you like it enough to cover Charlie's,
counseling,
counseling expenses? Huh?
It's hard, man. It's hard. Yes. Now you're onto something. Believe me.
All right, so we're not going to put that on our quadrant of 4 there.
Put it in the far corner.
Yeah, we're
in the far corner.
Yeah. Put it in.
Give me updates.
We'll put it in Gulfport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
please. From the Boat of Oz. Randy, anything else, man? You guys dabbling into any college football? What's happening there? Yeah, no doubt, no doubt about it. Have you paid attention to any of the futures in the NFL? Does just Jaden Daniels have a shot? We got a plus 31, plus 32 to 1, something like that. And he's at basically 10, 11 to 1 right now, but he's got some ground. Allen's been great. Jackson getting some more run. And even Mahomes, who has not played well, but they're still undefeated.
You'd be in some pretty good company. There's only one rookie that's ever won NFL MVP, Jim Brown. So that's a class of one.
It's gonna be tough, just like the Skeens thing. And I mean, there's
Right,
reluctance. Right. I mean, even Wembanyama for Defensive Player of the Year last year, they gave it to Gobert. He's clearly a better defensive player, but now his defensive team, and they didn't win as much, but still. So we're looking at one more. Detroit and Green Bay. I've got some Detroit to win their division. I've got a Detroit, Houston. I got a Philadelphia saver. This is actually a hedge on my Washington plus 290 to win the division. Instead of doing Philadelphia straight up, I hooked him up with Houston after they win the tiebreaker, sweeping Houston, the Colts, and also Detroit. Love. Yeah. Malik Willis is improved, Charlie, but he's still no Jordan Love. There's no doubt about that. At RR39 is where you can follow Randy's stuff. Randy, very, very popular. They'll all be banging on me. I'll be texting you again for some late picks down from the Burravage this weekend. Randy, good luck. We'll talk to you, buddy. Yeah, down here too. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC heating companies since 1980. My buddy Lucas Ragusa over at Total Maintenance. I've been dealing with Lucas for a long time, man. Me and Lucas were at some of the most memorable Saints games ever. The return back to the Superdome after Katrina, the block punt by Gleason, the Falcons Monday night game, the 2 playoff games on the way to the Super Bowl, in the Cardinals and Vikings. I was with Lucas both of the times. I think one of them where I ended up crowd body surfing about 7 rows down. But anyway, AC heating, generator installations, maintenance, service today, every day means that if you call today, you will get service today. Same day service. You will never sleep hot with when you call Total Maintenance. And we got a couple of great deals if you'd mention my name over at Total Maintenance. First of all, half off diagnostics, including after hours, holidays, and weekends. So you mention my name, Jimmy Ott, and half off diagnostics. And then also your one-time heater or AC visit. You get them a call, something's wrong with your heater, your AC. Normally $179, just $79 if you mention my name, Jimmy Ott. Total Maintenance, they're Baton Rouge and New Orleans offices, but totally different offices, totally different staffs, not to compromise each other. Give them a call here in Baton Rouge, 480-1000, 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
Live at Los Reyes, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana with wall-to-wall TVs and award-winning jumbo chicken wings. What more could you possibly want? Pluckers is also a great spot to host your fantasy football draft with the commissioner getting a gift card when you schedule in advance. Make sure Pluckers is part of your game day plans every game day all season long. Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Discover a new standard of luxury at Genesis of Baton Rouge with valet and concierge services, all complimentary for 3 years or 36,000 miles. Luxury has a new address. At Genesis of Baton Rouge, we believe in innovative technology, uncompromised safety, and the luxury experience you deserve. Ready to elevate your drive? Visit genesisofbatonrouge.com and explore the lineup and schedule your test drive. Luxury awaits. Genesis of Baton Rouge on Airline across from Woman's Hospital or genesisofbatonrouge.com.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Segan near Perkins.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me as we talk college football all year long, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. It's brought to you locally by Louisiana Turf Company. Visit them at louisianaturf.com.
Hey, it's Hunt Palmer. I'll be out at the grand opening of M&L Industries, your Baton Rouge Kubota dealer, this Saturday, November the 2nd. Come on out from 9 to 4 for a day jam-packed with fun for the whole family. They'll have giveaways, food, plus you can check out the latest Kubota equipment at the brand new facility. This Saturday, November the 2nd, M&L Industries, your Baton Rouge Kubota dealer. Come on out for the grand opening at M&L Industries.
Transform your home this fall with Cajun Soft Wash. Their soft washing solution removes dirt and algae without damage, enhancing your home's curb appeal and extending your roof's life. Locally owned and fully insured. Book now at CajunSoftWash.com.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit RuffinosRestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Finding the right personnel for your organization can be a challenge. At Glow Resources, we take that job seriously, but not ourselves. We place the best people into the right job. Glow Resources, complete employee solutions. GlowResources.com.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. If you switch your residential or commercial trash pickup to us, we promise to never sell your trash to the paparazzi. Seriously.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
121-12674. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Since you brought up those win totals, Commanders, the closest team in the league to hitting their win total. They're at 92%. At 6, their win total was 6.5 before the season started.
Where are they?
They're 6-2, so they need one more win.
Denver's 5.5. They're at 5-3,
and they're at 77%. The Vikings at 77%. The Steelers, who had a total of 8.5, is at 70%.
We sat at a beach bar, Pacific Beach, and Macero was begging me and just pleading about Washington. I'm like, I just don't know about Daniels, how he's going to make that next step up. We know he has a chance. We know he can. In college, he pushed the ball while protecting it, but he broke through. He had 1 year, Charlie, where he was really super, and he had some pretty good supporting cast, did he not?
30. He did, and your rookies in the NFL, you never can tell. And who's the furthest away from hitting their win total?
Saints. I don't know.
Good guess, but no. Jets, Jets, 10%. 10.5, they're 19.
I heard a phony acronym for Jets. 10? Just in the season.
That's a good one. Send that to A-Rod.
Let's put them on prime time.
Hour number 2, straight ahead from Los Reyes.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Custom Colors of Baton Rouge, specializing in body and paint, feature 100% platinum certified technicians, ensuring your car or truck is being worked on by the very best of the best. Custom Colors, located in the Industrial Plex off Segan and Airline.
Aaron Lewis, the American Patriot Tour.
Am I the only one who can't take no more screaming? If you don't like it, there's a freaking door. And then a country boy.
Saturday and Sunday, November 16th and 17th at 8 p.m. Beau Rivage Theater. Tickets on sale now at beaurivage.com.
Aaron Lewis. New album, The Hill, out now. Subject to change. Some restrictions may apply.
Did you know most homes don't have adequate insulation? This means higher electricity bills. Capital City Comfort can come and inspect your home for any spots that need extra insulation. Get ready for Louisiana weather with Capital City Comfort. Online at capitalcitycomfort-br.com.
Electric Man of Baton Rouge is here to help with 24/7 residential and commercial electrical services. With years of experience, Electric Man aims to deliver fast and dedicated electrical services without compromising safety, quality, and integrity. Licensed and insured professionals to do the job for you worry-free. Electric Man offers guaranteed appointment times and free estimates, offering veteran and senior discounts also. Find Electric Man at electricmanbatonrouge.com to schedule your guaranteed appointment time. electricmanbatonrouge.com, 225-800-7065.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night fights.
After the final whistle under Friday Night Lights, head to Brock's Friday Night Clinic for free orthopedic care and more. Whether you're a football player, cheerleader, band member, or dancer, everyone's welcome. Trust Brock for expert care after the game.
Hey, it's Hunt. I'll be broadcasting live from Red Stick Sports on SN Friday, November the 1st. It's the 2024 Fall Tent Sale. Incredible deals, 20 to 75% off the entire store. LSU merchandise, 20 to 50% off. See you Friday at Red Stick Sports.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Is it time for you to get new windows, doors, or siding? Then I have 2 pieces of advice for you. Call Tommy's Windows and get multiple quotes. Then you can compare our costs, products, and references. Go to GoTommys.com to give us a chance. We're Tommy's Windows.
Go Tommy's! Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Oh,
hour number 2.
Voice girl, Los Reyes.
Los Reyes.
She put a little funk in there, huh, Charlie?
She better with the accents than me.
Yeah. Oh, she got you beat on that one, Charlie. You're better than her in a lot of ways, okay? But she got you on that one.
I appreciate it. What's for lunch here?
I don't know. You like the bowls? I
like the bowls. I like
probably
the pizza
just do
too.
like a little fajitas. I love their soft tacos here because they do their own fresh tortillas, and that is one clear indicator in any type of Mexican restaurant that you go to. They roll their own tortillas. Boom, it's downhill from there. They don't. But they do them over here, man, and that's what I like. So the fajita steak tacos are really good. Losada guacamole, I like that. Pico de gallo, kind of good stuff. But the bowls are good too. So you look for something a little bit lighter. You don't want the bread or the tortillas. You can do just the bowl, and you can do with different beans, you can mix and match however you want. But a little pico, a little rice, beans, a little lettuce, and your choice of meat, whether the shredded chicken, the fajita grilled chicken breast meat, or the ground meat, the ground taco meat, or the fajita steak meat. So it's good stuff over here. And I always like the fresh jalapenos that put them on the side, kind of give me my little the temperature that I desire over here. It's my spot, man. On my spot every Saturday, or Saturdays when we're in town. on the way home for the Queen, man. I hit it right here.
Always with a hot temperature is Scott Rabelais from The Advocate. Rab, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. I was in another car earlier. What were you two, Stetler and Waldorf's, arguing about regarding the college football playoff?
Could have been anything.
Ole Miss and LSU.
Yeah, we were talking about deserving versus resume, which comes up a lot when they get into it. This is for
Could have been anything.
This is for a power rating. That if LSU and Ole Miss were playing again this week, Ole Miss would be favored again. But LSU won the game, and their resume
on a neutral,
yeah,
on a neutral.
and on a resume basis, the Kentucky loss is a really, really bad loss for Ole Miss. So it might be a deal in the if the committee were talking about it today, they'd say, well, we think Ole Miss is better. If they were playing this weekend, we'd favor them. But LSU's resume is better on what they've accomplished so far. So I don't know. You've been in some of these mock committee deals for basketball and other things. Is that generally what it comes down to?
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone in the committee. Yeah, I've done the mock thing for the CFP and for the NCAA tournament, and everyone on the committee is assigned to look at teams, different regions of the country or conferences, I guess probably, and when someone asks them, what do you think of this team? What do you think about that? Oh, well, I think they're great at this and that. But they're not going to ignore a resume. If Kentucky doesn't win another conference game, that's a horrible loss for Ole Miss. And I guess as compared to a loss to LSU's loss to Texas A&M, which might end up, in the SEC championship game, they're looking good at this point, and a neutral site loss to USC, which is probably going to go 6-6, I would think. So yeah, they're not going to ignore resume over eye test. I don't think.
But they're not deciding right now. So if LSU wins out,
if they both finish 10-2, if they both finish,
and LSU and Ole Miss win out, then Ole Miss is going to have the best win.
Oh yeah, 10-2 Ole Miss Georgia gets a win against Georgia. That would go a long way.
I mean, it would be very close. It would be very close. I mean, but that would, you got a better win. They got and a worse loss.
Yeah. Which do you value more, the best win or the worst?
It's going to mean an awful lot.
Yeah.
The head's going to mean an awful lot with the committee.
Scott.
So Scott, in the same way. So Ohio State and Oregon, they're both 11-1, but Oregon beat Ohio State in a very close game at home. Ain't no way Oregon will be ahead of Ohio State. No way.
No way Oregon would be ahead of Ohio State, like in the seeding.
Well, you said head to head. There will be the exact same schedule, exact same record. Okay.
You mean if Ohio State wins the rematch in the Big Ten championship game?
No. Let's just even before we get to that, I'm saying that Ole Miss and LSU will have the same record, but head to head they lost.
Yeah.
But LSU would. On the road, it was a very similar loss, is what I'm saying. The Ohio State loss at Oregon and the Ole Miss loss at LSU were very, very close at the end on the road. I can't kill them for that. I mean, but if they're 11-1, whoever before they're going in, Ohio State will be ahead of Oregon. Both are preseason top 5.
Well, who's Oregon going to lose to in this scenario to get to 11-1?
Right.
I mean,
well, no, it matters. I mean,
Michigan this week. That would be terrible loss.
Yeah, a loss to Michigan versus a loss to Oregon would be way worse. Yeah, I would agree there.
I mean, yes, that's true, but the committee is going to weigh head to head.
But Oregon, if the committee would weigh it, Oregon would be ahead of Ohio State. They have the same record.
Yeah, in that scenario, again.
And but that wouldn't happen, Scott.
I think it depends on who Oregon lost to. It would depend on who Oregon lost to. Scott, Brian Kelly on the teleconference a little while ago was talking about defending the running quarterback. This has gotten a lot of play because of Greg Penn's comments after the game. They didn't work on Marcel Reed, but Kelly was pointing out it's not like they've never worked on running quarterback, so that they didn't work on some of the things in this game plan for A&M, but didn't execute it very well. Kind of elaborate on what his.
Yeah, we had him last night after practice and today on the SEC teleconference, and he said, "Look, we have a scheme. It's worked against other running quarterbacks, or dual threat quarterbacks earlier this year, and we just didn't execute it." So, it's kind of he said, she said a little bit, isn't it? It's like Greg Penn said we didn't prepare for it very much. Obviously, they spent most of the week last week preparing for Connor Wegman, but Kelly said, well, we have a plan. You guys just didn't execute it very well, which is kind of the way he phrases things sometimes. So either way, it's not very palatable if you're an LSU supporter, to think that the coach is saying the players didn't do what we told them to do, or the players are saying we weren't prepared. So either way, they just didn't do it, and they looked like they were caught flat-footed by a guy who started 3 games and played in 6, I believe. So they are games coming in and doing what he did. Now, that said, I don't subscribe to the idea that Jalen Milroe is just going to automatically come in and run all over LSU because of that. Obviously, what you're getting with Milroe going in, and that should be all the focus, and that should be all of their preparation, but it seems to me like they weren't very well prepared for him, and they were shutting down the Wegman, and who can run a little bit, but it's kind of like Nussmeier. He's not going to run over you. So either way, it's not a very palatable situation. And this is in the midst of the fact that overall, on balance, it's still been a good season to this point, and the defense has definitely improved. So you got to take a lot of things into consideration, kind of like with the CFP committee.
Yeah. Moving forward, this is so much different. If this was a normal season, or any other season when they under the old format, LSU would have no chance to play in the SEC championship. A very little chance. A&M would have to lose 2 of their last 3 in the league. That's not extremely likely. But this year, especially with the tiebreakers, which we've become more well versed at this week with some of those results, everything's still on the line, and that's a real difference. 2 losses, everything is still on the line, and mostly, not 100%, but mostly within your own control. So I'm sure that was one of the things he talked about as well.
We're talking about the SEC.
All the Atlanta, the playoff, everything.
Yeah,
with 2 losses, but before with the playoff and the SEC championship game, you were out, and now that's not the case.
No, but LSU only has 1 loss in conference. That's why I was asking.
Right.
So yeah, LSU. I think in the old format, LSU would they'd still be where does Texas fit in? But they're in second in the West. They'd be in more trouble because they'd be down a loss and a tiebreaker to Texas A&M in the West. As is, it's all one division, as they say, which is not a great way to put it, but it's the way the SEC has put it. LSU's still in the mix. One of 4 teams with 1 loss, and they lost to the best team, and so it's going to be very interesting. You can see a scenario where Texas beats Texas A&M. You got a bunch of teams left with 1 loss, 3 or 4 teams left with 1 loss, and then how all the tiebreakers work out. It's maddening to even think about right now. But LSU is still in the mix, as you said, and same for the college football playoff. If it wasn't expanded, they'd have a very low chance of making it. I don't think they have a great chance of making it now. It's certainly below 50%. But if they win out, and there's a little chaos, which right now it looks like, well, if everybody wins, all these teams don't have a loss or only have 1 loss elsewhere, and that's not counting for any chaos. There's always chaos. We got 5 weeks to go in the regular season. There's going to be more chaos. So I don't think LSU is in the best place to go to Atlanta or to go to the playoff after losing to Texas A&M. But certainly all is not lost, and there's plenty to play for. And of course, it makes this game with Alabama, which otherwise might just be kind of a little bit of playing out the string, in previous years, an elimination game for the CFP.
Yesterday, and I don't know if he touched on it again this morning, but the loss of Garrett Dellinger in this game, we definitely saw it, on the film that it made a difference. And the high ankle sprain, he's talking about a week and a half worth of rest. That's a tough ask. Did he comment any more on how big an impact do you think that is to not have that senior offensive lineman at left guard?
No, he did not. He did not talk about that anymore. But yeah, that's it's been a very good unit overall in terms of pass blocking, and it certainly weakens them in terms of run blocking. And where have they not been great up the middle, and that's where they seem to want to run a lot of the time in the tackles. I think we all agreed there could be a little more diversity and a little more creativity with the LSU running game than we see sometimes out of Joe Sloan's offense. But it's certainly a blow, and you have a chance to get him back, at least somewhat of a basis for the Alabama game. But obviously, those high ankle sprains linger, and they can be a problem. It's what we thought about this LSU offensive line, though, guys, isn't it? Great starting five. The depth is is shaky, and when you have to delve past those guys, and that could be the position they're in. And it's not a great position to be in against an Alabama team who, we all agree, doesn't have the veneer of invincibility they had under Darth Saban, but they still have talent, on defense.
I appreciate his optimism, with the rest week and everything, but 2 weeks if it's a true high ankle sprain is a big ask. I would be doubtful that he could get back that quick if it's a true high ankle sprain. And you're going from somebody with 30 career starts to a redshirt freshman who would be making his first career start against Alabama. That's a big ask. That'll be a big storyline next week. Last thing, Rab, his chief of staff, Beth Rex, has left the program. She's been with him a long time. He touched on that this morning. It's not a name that's real familiar because she's a behind-the-scenes person, but she's sort of been a very important member of his staff for a long time.
Yes, she has. She's certainly one of those people who came with him from Notre Dame, and she might have been with him. I think Notre Dame, but she moved with them, and her husband moved here and everything. And it was just very quietly, like you said, it's not a coaching position or anything like that, but he's been his chief of staff, and he talked about. He said for now they're just reassigning some of her duties within the football office, and they'll probably hire someone in the off season. Nothing much more than that. I mean, no reason was given for her departure or anything like that. And people come and go all the time, but it is a little curious. It does make you wonder naturally what went on there, if anything. But it's also not something that's going to be a major hurdle for them. It's not going to be a hurdle for them in terms of breaking down film and trying to analyze Alabama, and break LSU's tendencies as you do in an open date week. So, but it is a curious thing because she's been a very loyal member. He brought it. It was one of a couple of people he brought over from Notre Dame, including the strength coach who replaced Tommy Moffitt, who of course now at Texas A&M. So, I'm sure they'll muddle through.
Rab, enjoy the off weekend. If your editor seeks to punish you, he'll send you to Paris. He'll send you to Carolina to cover the Saints game. So be on your best behavior the rest of the week, okay?
I will. Are you guys going trick-or-treating together?
No.
I'm handing out candy as usual. This is my usual.
You want us to dress as the Muppets. We know. We know.
Very good, Charlie.
Yeah. We'll get some tuxedos. Thanks, Rab. Appreciate it.
Thanks. All right, bye-bye.
Don't forget our friends at Total Diamond Performance. We're kicking off our second session right now this week, so not too late to get a part of it. Mondays, hitting, bat speed program, the position players only. The Tuesday, throwing program, defensive program. Wednesday, hitting, bat speed, again, throwing program, defensive program. On Thursday. So 2024 Total Diamond Performance High School Fall Baseball Program offers a blend of skill acquisition training, throwing, hitting, defense paired with strength and agility training. Programs directed by Matt Mastretta of Total Diamond Performance. Coach Mastretta has worked in player development with the Mariners, Twins, Reds, also consulted with Oregon State Baseball as a performance specialist around mental performance, advanced scouting, and player development evaluation. So players will be placed in small groups to optimize quality of instruction and maximize repetition. So again, best way to reserve your spot today is nick@tdpbaseball.com. nick@tdpbaseball.com. Just kicking off session number 2 right now. This goes through November 22nd. And then we have one more November 25th through December 20th. Again, reserve your spot for your youth baseball player today. Again, nick@tdpbaseball.com.
Live at Los Reyes, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. Service today, every day. Nobody likes to go to sleep hot. With a full staff in both Baton Rouge and New Orleans, Total Maintenance is an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, and Generac and Cummings generators. In Baton Rouge, call 480-1000 In New Orleans, 841-3300. Total Maintenance, your authorized AC dealer.
Yo, Jake and T-Bob here. We've been talking about the All-Star Toyota rentals for a while, so during vacation season, we wanted to remind you about them.
That's right. All-Star Toyota has daily, weekly, and monthly rentals with flexible plans and competitive rates that blow the other places out of the water. In fact, you can rent a new Toyota for as little as $60 a day. These rentals are perfect for out-of-town trips, for business, or pleasure.
All-Star Toyota, located on Airline at Goodwood. Check out their website at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com/rental. People you know, cars you trust. All-Star Toyota.
I'm here with former Tiger and attorney Chris Barrett.
Gordy, one area of the game often overlooked is special teams. Having the best special teams players can often be the difference between victory and defeat.
Now, Chris, how does this relate to hiring the right attorney?
Just like on the football field, you want an attorney who has the special skills and experience to obtain victory. For more than 20 years, I've been fighting for my clients in courtrooms all across Louisiana. Whether you've been injured in an accident or arrested and need to defend your rights, you want a Tiger on your team.
Chris, how can people find you?
Call me, attorney Chris Barrett, the law offices of O.C. Brown in Baton Rouge, 343-1111.
343-1111.
LA filing 231-6026.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
GMFS, changing lives.
T. Brown here, CEO of GMFS Mortgage, which we started in Baton Rouge in 1999. Thanks to you, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. That's 25 years of helping thousands of you get into your dream homes, 25 years of helping thousands of you refinance to the best rate possible, and 25 years of helping many of you consolidate debts. The last 25 years would not have been possible without you, our clients, and our over 200 employees who come together every day through our Baton Rouge area offices and headquarters to provide you with award-winning customer service. If you're in the market to buy, build, renovate, or refinance, do what thousands of Louisianans have done over the past 25 years. Go to gmfsmortgage.com to start the process now and give us a chance to personally say thank you.
GMFS, changing lives.
GMFS NMLS number 64997 is an equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 200A, Baton Rouge, LA 70806, subject to credit and property approval.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
When you've been in the industry for over 20 years, you learn a few things. For one thing, you learn your product inside and out, but you also learn how to ask the right questions and give satisfying answers. Jim's Firearms.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
Wes Reynolds, man, I was thinking about you on Saturday, watching game day and enjoying the festivity. I tell you what, I enjoyed it. I've got no affiliation with Indiana, man. I bet you were tickled pink, man, watching all the coverage, all the love. I mean, I cannot, definitely not in my lifetime, cannot remember a celebration of Indiana football. This was it on Saturday. How much fun was it for you, Wes?
No, it was a blast, and to see the turnout for college game day and Bloomington looking great on a fall October afternoon as it more often than not does. That's the thing. When your football team is down, like a lot of people don't see how great of a college town this is and how much fun it is, especially, when the football team is winning. And then just the whole, going through the history of the program with Bo Corso and in his sweater that he wore on the sidelines in the late 70s as Indiana football coach, and seeing him reunite with his players because they had the 45-year Holiday Bowl team reunion from 1979. So a lot of his old players and old coaches were there, including John Gruden's father, because John Gruden actually used to be ball boy for the Indiana team. He wasn't showcased on the show, but he was there in Bloomington. And, you know, it was just great to see. And it was good to see Indiana go out and handle business. Because kind of, if you have some PTSD like I do, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, but it hasn't dropped yet.
And we've seen that with these first time hosts of game day, with it's just a big distraction. I mean, it's a major distraction. But you know, the more and more I watch Signetti's team, I mean, they hit, they wrap, they follow through with their blocks. They don't do anything stupid. You're not going to see them raising up the ball before, you know, at the 3-yard line and maybe letting it go before they cross the goal. I mean, they really rally to the ball defensively. You know, one guy can't get him down. Don't worry. 2 or 3 more are right behind them. They're coming. They're just they call them the little things, but damn it. I mean, when did fundamentals become little things? I guess they are somewhere along the line, but and you know, and they did it with a backup quarterback. My $1 billion question for us, and I thought, and also look, I mean, McAfee is an acquired taste for us on game day. Couldn't stand him. It was a joke. He was overpowering the broadcast. He's kind of found his little bit of niche. And of all things, being Saban's buddy boy. Saban giggles at every one of his damn jokes. I mean, you know, so, but he has an Indiana connection as well. And it was cool to him. And he's kind of got this thing, his role, whether it's Berkeley or Bloomington, you know, kind of connecting with the fans as well, you know, bringing them, making that on-site crowd that much more interactive with the broadcast as well. I thought it was great, and I thought the game day has been. I'm not watching every second, but I'm watching a lot more than I have, and it used to be for years and years appointment viewing for us.
Yeah, look, I watched. This was the first time I watched every second, obviously, because it was Indiana, and then did the same thing the week before with the big noon kickoff that they have on Fox, because they were in Bloomington for the Nebraska game. And, you know, it kind of showcased the university a little bit more, I think, than game day did, kind of the history. But I will give McAfee that McAfee knows how to be the babyface and work the crowd. He puts the town over. He puts the student over. The field goal competition on, especially when it wins money and makes the field goal. But yeah, look, you know, it's such a reforming of the show, though, with Coach Corso being 89 years old and just, you know, kind of having a minimal role, which is all you can really have for him at this standpoint. I
thought it was really cool how those coaches, man, can remember those players and those key guys and those key moments from way, way back then. You know, I lived, you know, I was raised by one, so. I mean, and those old players love that when they can remember those details of those things back in those old glory days. So it was a lot of fun. Now, let me ask you now, forget this year. Say 5 years ago when Indiana's struggling, doing the usual in football, okay? Where did Indiana football rank as far as level of interest? Didn't the soccer team have really good? I mean, I don't know with the cycle. I mean, what was it still 2 behind basketball, or were there even some secondary sports that were even garnered more interest on campus in football?
Yeah, there might have been a time you considered it third, because basketball, you know, continues to be number one, even though people are kind of waiting for Mike Woodson to, you know, take the next step up, like make a second weekend, for crying out loud. We have not yet done that. So we'll see if Indiana does that this year. But the baseball team had a run in the mid-2000s because we had a certain guest pitcher on that team named Kyle Schwarber, who led them to Omaha in the College World Series when Tracy Smith was still coaching at Indiana. So baseball, and you mentioned soccer, 8 national championships, by the way, for the Hoosiers men's soccer team. So, yeah, football has always kind of been, you know, in and out of I think with Bill Mallory in the 80s and the early 90s, they got it to about 9 wins. Now, winning 9 games back then was hard because you didn't have the extra game, but you just weren't good enough to get to the Rose Bowl. But you were good enough to get to a good bowl game because there weren't as many bowl games back then. So, you know, it's had its peaks and valleys. When Terry Hepner came in, it was kind of like there was energy in the program, and then sadly he passed away. And then they had the one good year during COVID with Tom Allen where they played Ole Miss in the Outback Bowl there in Tampa, but it just hasn't been able to maintain. And part of that is because of the apathy. And that comes from the administration, too. You've got to invest in your football program. I don't care where you are. I don't care if the ceiling's 8 or 9. You've got to invest in football. And I hope that finally they are doing that, because Kurt Signetti's not going to put up with anything less.
He's impressive. Is it going to, or are they set up for a letdown? I mean, it was a high on the season when they destroyed Nebraska. Nebraska was the best team on their schedule to that point, and I mean, they could not have played any better. And then you follow it up with a 2-touchdown win with all of the distractions. Are you concerned with a little bit of a flat spot at East Lansing Saturday?
A little bit, because if Rourke is going to play, I don't think he's officially been announced as a starter, but he is throwing again off that thumb surgery. If he's good to go, then he's going to start. But from a matchup standpoint with Michigan State, this is kind of the first really good, I think, running quarterback that they played with Aiden Child, who came in with Jonathan Smith, transferred in from Oregon State. He still has some work to do as a passer, but he's a good athlete, and he's a good runner. And Indiana hadn't really had to play a lot of those guys. You know, the guys that had scrambling ability, they were up by so much, like the Maryland kid, Edwards. He couldn't run. They had to throw like every day because they were down so much. It was the same with Nebraska. But in this game, I think it is going to be a competitive game. But the number's probably right. I would lean with the Spartans, but man, I don't know. I don't want, maybe I just got to believe in Indiana here, but I certainly probably wouldn't lay it on the road. I would only be taking here just because I think the matchup and going on the road, spotlight is even brighter on you, even though the game's on Peacock on Saturday afternoon. So yeah, this could be a letdown, but man, it's set up for you to be 10-0 going to Ohio State, because you got Michigan coming in the next week, and you're going to favorite in both those games. They're already a double-digit favorite on the look ahead against Michigan.
Wes, who you got this week in college football?
Yeah, a couple that I did play. We'll go to the SEC. I played South Carolina at 3.5. If 3 shows again, would still play it against Texas A&M. Obviously came back against the Tigers last week. But South Carolina, if you really look at them, they're 4-3. They could easily be 5-2 or 6-1. Of course, they missed a field goal against LSU. They came back against Alabama, had the ball last, and had a chance to potentially win, couldn't get it done. I think the quarterback Sellers he's developing a little bit more as a passer. He's not there yet. He's a lot better now than I think he was at the start of the season. So this is a tough spot for A&M. And Mike Elko, I know he made the comment, hey, we're a program, and, this isn't, salesmanship, maybe taking a little shot at Jimbo there. I don't know, perhaps. But, I think A&M coming off that win and going on the road, I like South Carolina here. I think that they're a little bit better than their 4-3 record. And staying in the SEC, and I know SEC favorites, by the way, this year, home favorites are only 3-15 against the spread this season. So we're going to go with the home favorite, and we're going to go with Auburn -6.5 over Vanderbilt. I wonder if Auburn saved their season, Jimmy, last week at Kentucky. And I know you've seen Kentucky enough. Their offense stinks, but they're a pretty good defense. And Auburn went on the road and took care of business and stopped that hemorrhaging and stopped that losing streak. Now you got Vanderbilt, who everybody loves. And look, they covered against Texas last week. Didn't get the outright win like Alabama, but going on the road here, I think that could be a little bit of a public dog, because it's kind of like, well, Auburn's down from their usual standards, but you can still lay less than 7 here. So that's what I did at 6.5 with the War Eagle.
93% of the tickets on Vanderbilt, but 2-1 money on Auburn at Bet Rivers, and the similar tickets at the Queen DraftKings, like 83%. So no doubt about it, Vanderbilt is a very public dog this weekend. And the final score might have been a little bit closer than indicated. Pick 6 at the end was waved off because of a penalty. So you turned a 17-point game instead of a 3-point game, because Vandy did score at the end. You had the first touchdown was set up on an interception by Texas. So it could have been worse, and it wasn't. But we know who's got the better quarterback. But a little bit of a situation. Auburn is second in the league in yards rushing yards per attempt this year. It's not. You don't have a whole lot of. only one top 30 rushing per attempt. Now, the league is very good stopping the rush, but rushing yards per attempt, it's more of a passing league.
They are the New York Giants of the Southeastern Conference. They're very, very hard to watch. And it's like, shouldn't you have another win or two in there somewhere? And they just don't.
Yeah.
They're tough to watch. And I'm still aggravated with that Missouri game.
All right, Wes, 2-0 last week in the NFL with the Rams and Raiders. Who you got this week?
Yeah, we'll see if we could find a couple ugly underdogs. Not as many as I like this week, but did play a favorite actually on Thursday night. I'm going to go with the Jets. Just end the season. They've been bad, but this Houston team at 6-2, they're probably going to win the division because Tennessee's bad. Jacksonville hasn't been good, and the Colts, they look like a mess to the F right now with what happened yesterday. Obviously, demoting Anthony Richardson and these guys not knowing what they're doing. I think Steichen and Ballard are big time on the hot seat in Indianapolis, even though they're taking money against Minnesota. I'm going to go with the Jets, and it's more of a fade of Houston. I think Houston's a little bit overrated here, and especially on the road. C.J. Stroud's home and road splits there's a wide chasm between those two, as you saw in Green Bay, where he couldn't even get 100 yards passing. I still think he's good, but I just think he still has some more developing to do. He's only a second-year quarterback, so I did lay a small money line. I actually took pick, but I'd lay small money line with the Jets here. And then another one I'm looking at, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to buy on bad news here. I know they got behind against San Francisco. They really should have had a better chance to win the game. They threw 3 straight incompletions. Just that last drive against San Francisco was a dismal failure. Atlanta got a little fortune last week because Tampa Bay had Godwin out and they had Evans out. And Tampa still put well over 400 yards and 26 points on them. So I'm going to go with Dallas here. This might be kind of a save the season or at least get it on track here. So I'll take the 2.5. We'll see if the 3 shows. You can certainly buy it to 3. But I like the Cowboys in Atlanta.
Yeah, what's your thoughts real quick before we let you go up against the clock? But your Colts with that move going from Richardson to Flacco.
Yeah, look, maybe for short term it makes sense, but I don't think they've helped Anthony Richardson out. The receivers dropped a bunch of balls. Second play calling was poor. The kid can run the ball. You got to run some RPO with him a little bit and be more of a running team. The Colts are a mess right now. I don't think that they know what they're doing. If you go 10-7, make the wild card, so what? You've got a 41-year-old quarterback and you've got a number 4 overall draft pick that you still don't know if he can play or not. So I think maybe a little bit short-sighted.
Forget where you drafted him. He should have never been drafted number 4 overall. So you got to.
No, he shouldn't. That's on Ballard for a poor evaluation.
Absolutely, but you would think with a guy with a track record who took another run first quarterback in Hurts and put him in such favorable positions, he would mimic that. And maybe because he got knocked out so early last year that with the injury that they didn't want to do that. But that's the only way that guy could survive with a dozen college starts, who's so challenged with his arm. So Wes, great stuff as always. Go Hoosiers, man. We'll talk to you next week.
You bet, guys. Thank you.
All right. Don't forget our friends, Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime. My man, downtown Dana Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Both Charlie and I have used Dana's team of specialized attorneys for different reasons at different stages of our lives. And we certainly felt did not hesitate to recommend them to others with similar situations. You don't know if your rights are being infringed upon. You don't know if you're entitled to more. You're not attorneys. That's why you take advantage of that free initial consultation to evaluate and see if you do have a case or not. That's where Dana's team comes in, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. You pull them up on the website at OCBrown.com. You can schedule it right online as well, making it as convenient and easy for you. Downtown Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com.
Live at Los Reyes, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
From your couch to the tailgate to the stadium, Home Field Apparel makes the best game day and everyday gear. This year, Home Field's football box is brand new. It hooks you up with everything you need to cheer on the Tigers. T-shirt, long sleeve shirt, hoodie, hat, socks, and a koozie. Plus, you get 15% off your first order when you use the code LSU24 at checkout. Trust me, y'all, I've been sporting the gear for 2 years now. It's the best. Nothing like I've worn before. Quality, comfort, and style. HomeFieldApparel.com.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is head coach Brian Kelly. When running a football program or any organization, core values are so important to the success of the operation. Integrity, honesty, and family is what they're all about at Hollingsworth Richards Ford, and I've experienced that firsthand. Now in my third year here in Baton Rouge, I've gotten to know them through their support of our football program. So it's simple. All of you truck buyers across the state, and I know there are a lot of you, when it's time for that brand new vehicle, go to Hollingsworth Richard Ford and tell them Coach Kelly sent you.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, fillet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Attention young professionals. Get ready for the biggest event of the year, Forum Fet, hosted by Forum 225, Baton Rouge's leading young professionals organization. On Friday, November 1st at Gallery 14, enjoy an unforgettable night of great food, drinks, entertainment, and fun. Don't miss out. Grab your tickets now at forum225.org/events. That's forum.org/events. It's Forum Fet, November 1st. See you there.
Hey, it's Hunt. This Saturday, M&L Industries is having their grand opening, and we're kicking off Kubota Orange Days at the same time. Join us from 9 to 4 for a day packed with giveaways, food, and you'll get a chance to check out the latest Kubota equipment in our brand new facility. Plus, during Kubota Orange Days, running from November the 2nd through November the 8th, you can sign up on site and get $500 off select Kubota inventory. So come out and celebrate with us Saturday at M&L Industries, your Baton Rouge Kubota dealer, located off Riga Road near Seagan and I-10. We can't wait to see you there.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Lofton Staffing Services, 924-0200, and Lofton.jobs. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. The LSU Alumni Association and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center. For reservations, thecookhotel.com.
Boudreaux's Electrical, where every client is a VIP 24/7. No subscriptions, just unwavering commitment to your power needs with Generac home standby generators. Boudreaux's treats you like family, not just another outage. Visit BoudreauxElectrical.com.
This is Todd Covington, branch manager at First South Farm Credit in Amy. If you're in the market for land, whether it's timberland for deer hunting or any other recreational property, make First South the first call. First South has specialized in financing land for over 100 years. And we can put together a customized loan package with long-term financing for up to 30 years. So if you're thinking about buying or refinancing recreational property, call me, Todd Covington, 985-748-8655, or find us online at firstsouthland.com.
Tonight at the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair, it's Dynamo Dogs, Dinosaur Experience, Dallas the Fire Guy, and Swifty Swine Pig Racing. The Greater Baton Rouge State Fair at the Breck Highway, gbrsf.com. Magic.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
You can always get the show on demand at louisianasports.net. We are also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff done a great job for our family. You know, if you've got back pain, neck pain, soreness, things that are keeping you from getting around the way you want to or keeping you from getting a good night's sleep. Let them help you out with a series of things that are going to target those problem areas and get you to feeling better. So whether it's just a series of exercises and stretches or the cryotherapy, the dry needling, or any of the other the electric nerve stimulation, the things that they can do to get you to feeling better, let them help you out. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. We're going to get a World Series. The Yankees going to climb back in this thing. The big favorites today with Garrett Cole to get this thing at least back to Los Angeles. They fell behind early last night, but Dodgers at one point, it was late in the game, they decided to make some bullpen decisions to sort of preserve the bigger arms in the bullpen.
Flaherty's been better than Cole lately, Charlie. So, no, I think the Dodgers will take care of business tonight.
You're getting a number then.
$1.25 coming back. Huh?
You're getting that. And Freddie Freeman, now 6 consecutive games.
Is that
with
crazy?
A home run. Four consecutive games in this series that he has homered. We've seen some great performance in the World Series before, but I never.
I mean, throw him on the outside part of the plate or miss. I mean,
they're still pitching to him.
Well, they're pitching inside to him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going oppo in that building. Not doing it.
No,
he is going to take a. I mean,
the New York Yankees were built on left-handed sluggers.
Yes, and I mean, middle in, you can't
in that park.
Can't do it. You quit doing it. I mean, now look, it's a much bigger yank in Chavez Ravine. They were showing the home runs and where they would be in Chavez Ravine. It's like 75% of them wouldn't be home runs that they're hitting, in Yankee Stadium. But man, right field and man, give the little shortstop credit, man. He got a hold of one because the Yankees were about to blow a big time scoring opportunity, and he misread a ball. Okay, he was at second with one out, and he misread the ball that could have been a triple to center field, and he held up at third. He scored on the ground ball, the one hopper to Freeman to make it, but probably cost him a run there. And he came up after Rizzo popped up. Infield fly rule, bases loaded, one out. So it was 2 outs. First pitch, pop, grand slam. So he made up for it. They love him, man, local kid in New York. And he came back and he was stealing bases. He was doing his energy plays. He scored on a routine ball. Now, it was a poor throw by the second baseman when he came home. He went to the right side, allowed him to be safe. But, I mean, he's going at the crack of the bat. He's a very good. It's an uncharacteristic move for a strong baseball IQ guy.
Yeah.
Boone talked about that as well. But no, I don't think we got a series now. We had our series, man, and in game one, we're gonna look back. Game one, we did 2-2.
Turning point of game one, yeah.
2-2 is completely different. So this lineup's too strong. This team's too strong for. I mean, the guys that were thrown out there were really. They're capable, but there was no match for the Yankees line. I mean, it was like, now, do you get them going? I mean, Judge had a couple of walks and a fly ball instead of strikeouts, but
he finally got a hit too.
He did get a hit.
He's 1 for 3 last night. I thought
he did get a hit. Last night. Okay, I saw the walks.
Yeah, he finally got a hit in the thing, and of course the Yankee fans trying to do what they can to help out, like to rip Mookie Betts' glove off in right field, like nobody was down the right field line in foul territory, like nobody was gonna see that. They knew they interviewed him after. They said, we knew we were getting thrown out.
Get thrown out?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they have to.
Not only did they get thrown out,
Jeffrey Mayer didn't get thrown out, huh?
No, and in fact that counted because there was no replay and all that at the time. With the Tony Tarasco was camped out under it, and it counted. The question was, are they going to let them back in tonight? Those fans, their season ticket holders. That's what I'm saying. Their season ticket holders.
About a
down
lifetime.
Right
Mookie was real. Took the high road. Didn't even feel them.
Yeah.
This and that. Had nothing to do. I mean, we're just took the high road.
What Jeffrey Mayer did versus what these guys did. Mayer stuck his glove out and caught the ball. What was he, about 8 years old at the time or something like that? He was a young kid.
11 maybe.
These two guys are adults, and they're literally trying to rip the ball out of his glove and then trying to rip the glove off of his hand. So there's a big difference between a kid sticking his glove out and, what these guys did last night.
Yankees were desperate.
I guess that they were. MLB has asked the Yankees to ban the fans from tonight's game. They'll
revisit that, but they can't come back tonight.
No, if they want to come back next year, you can talk about that then. 6 home runs in World Series play for Freddie Freeman. Almost cracked the top 10 all time.
They won it in that the last time when he homered.
Two times in that series.
That's when they beat the Dodgers, right?
Yep. No, the Astros. It was the Astros, right? Braves beat the Astros in 21.
Oh, the Braves came back and beat the Dodgers. Okay.
Well, I'm talking about the World
Series. No, they lost Game 7. They had a lead in Game 7 in the Dodgers series.
Six consecutive
World
Series
I'm
games.
sorry, Charlie.
With a home run. Only 2 modern-day players have hit more home runs.
The Braves
in the World
Dodgers
Series.
was the Elite Championship Series. Jimmy Cheese. But
so the Astros are still in the National League in my head.
I'm distracted. We got some college football news about Georgia, Florida. They're going to move the game starting in 2026. Where are they
on
moving
campus? To? They're not going to move. They're moving them out of Jacksonville and they're not going back on campus.
Mercedes-Benz Dome.
Huh?
Atlanta.
Yeah, I know where it is. Florida agreed to that?
2026.
One game only or multiple? I'm curious because Kirby's been lobbying to get that game back on campus, but I thought he was pretty much shouting on deaf ears. Let's see, 2026 and Tampa in 2027. Okay.
Are they renovating Jacksonville? Yeah, stadium.
They've done that in the past because they did play 2 like in the 90s.
I mean, this is already the second. I mean, that thing needs to be renovated. They need to renovate the operations. I mean, of that organization. Yeah. They don't need a new stadium. Well, they need new ownership or general manager. I mean,
Kirby's big gripe about it is you can't bring recruits to neutral site games, and once
why
every 2
not?
years. Well, that's a reasonable question, but
I mean, if you play one of your neutral site games, I mean, you can't give them a taste. I mean, Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, that's a dumb rule.
NCAA rules, Jimmy. They're all well,
I mean,
rules are rules. Yeah. But I understand why he wants it back on campus. But on Atlanta, Tampa, okay.
What would you do?
I tell them I want the damn game in Tiger Stadium. Okay, not Georgia, Florida. I'm telling you, if I'm LSU. I'm not going to a neutral site field if I don't have to.
There's a lot of history playing in Jacksonville.
That game is different because they've been 100 years in Jacksonville.
This is why. I mean, because Georgia and Auburn's an older series. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Florida State. It's not the same. Just the fight count. I'm sorry. They fight way more Florida State than they do Florida, Georgia. But part of it makes it that they play there every year. That is one of the things, and they have agreed to that. And it's Texas and Oklahoma playing in Dallas every year. It's kind of, I mean, it is. It's split 50-50. It's kind of,
and I get it.
I mean, you were in Lambeau.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool.
It was. It was.
To have that son of a gun. I mean, 50-50.
Vegas was fun. Okay.
But that wasn't 50-50.
No, it wasn't anyway. It wasn't 50-50. But what I'm saying is, if I'm the athletic director, I want my games in my stadium. I want to play college football on campus, if at all possible. That would be my MO.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
that's interesting though.
Speaking of Jags Stadium, T-Law better start throwing some passes to his own team before his clock's ticking. Is it not?
No, because they just signed that monster contract.
Well, they signed Daniel Jones too, but I mean,
more monster than that.
I mean, we're well past the 25-star mark.
Yeah,
and we're evaluating him as far as how good he is, and you give him an Urban Meyer a pass. At some point, he's got to quit throwing interceptions.
I agree, but they got a bunch of money in him.
Well, they're going to play him, but does that make him any good?
No.
I mean, he was supposed to be generational talent.
Hadn't been. Not the last year and a half.
So don't forget our friends over at Electric Man, BatonRouge.com. Electrical work is not do-it-yourself type of stuff at home. No, don't try and figure it out by yourself. please call our friends over to Electric Man, 372-5356, or go to electricmanbatonrouge.com. Get a special right now, $25 off the web special if you schedule through the website, electricmanbatonrouge.com. Pull it up, the main page, it comes on. Request a quote. Licensed, insured, quality service guaranteed, quick repairs to full installations at Electric Man. Installations, lighting, electrical safety, you name it all. If you got electrical situations, and especially do it. You kind of work at home. So many more of us are working at home, doing our work at home. I got my own home studio, got home office, and get the proper lighting, proper electrical receptacles and things like that to really maximize your space as well. Your safety is our priority at electricmanbatonrouge.com.
Live at Los Reyes, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Football season is back, and the best place to watch all.
Whenever you're ready, Jordan.
It's rolling.
Hang on one second, please. This is Charles Hanagriff. Join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Finbom Sushi, Poke, and Ramen right next to Rouse's. Dwayne Colucci joins us from Las Vegas along with Kenny White and Matt Humans as we get you ready for another big college football weekend. Live at Lunch from Finbom on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Easy to use technology and business solutions. So get to know the local bank that cares about you. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, downtown facing Town Square. At Jolie Pearl, we're pretty shucking good. Louisiana Lanyap on Perkins and Blue Bonnet, winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee, and Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Bow and waterfowl season is open, and Southern Outfitters is your one-stop shop. Fully stocked with decoys, full-service bow repair, and sales. Tree stands, hang-ons, and hunting apparel for the entire family. Visit Southern Outfitters in Zachary and at southernoutfittersla.com.
Please consider making a donation locally through St. Vincent de Paul that truly helps people in need. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, clothing, housewares, or furniture you no longer use, please consider donating it to St. Vincent de Paul. This donation could get you a tax deduction. Visit svdpbr.org.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Have a question, a problem, call us. We answer the phone. 225-363-9053.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
121-12674. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
A decent Wednesday night game in college football. Jacksonville State and Liberty. Liberty's first loss last week. That big upset against Kennesaw State.
Rich Rod's team is playing is improved. I mean, Liberty is not nearly. There's some teams that just aren't as good as people expected. They're not as good as they were last year. They had some returning pieces, including their quarterback, but they're just not as good. They have really struggled this year, and I think they're prompt to get beat again tonight against Rich Rod's crew.
They are a 2-point choice at home. That's at 6 o'clock. The other game is Kennesaw State and Western Kentucky. We got game 3 of the World Series. You like the Dodgers tonight.
Yeah.
Flaherty,
Flaherty
against Garrett Cole. Thanks to the people here at Los Reyes for being our
Rab
guests.
said that they moved the Iron Bowl from Legion Field. Is that amazing? A storied program as much as Alabama didn't play on campus till like 30 years ago.
I know. And how many games did Arkansas play in Little Rock? They didn't want to disturb the termites at Legion Field, I think was the.
But they never played in Tuscaloosa.
I know.
Yeah.
It was a much bigger stadium in Legion Field. Tomorrow we're at
in
Finbom.
Jackson, that's different.
Thanks a lot to everybody. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
Pierre Port store and the Denham's and the Thibodeau store. helping you out when you're making those home improvements. You need supplies, whether it be lumber, whether it be other carpentry supplies. You need concrete, you need paint. They're going to be able to help you out. You go to the ThibodeauStore.com website. They'll be able to deliver for you free of charge. Or you can go to pick them up. They'll help you load those bulky items into your vehicle. And the dedicated staff there will give you instructions on how to proceed with a lot of these projects. You can save a lot of money by doing it yourself, but make sure you've got the proper techniques. You're not wasting time and you're not wasting money on unnecessary supplies. Hand tools, power tools, plus a lot of extras at the Thibodeau store, fishing gear, crawfish pots, jambalaya pots, cypress furniture, a huge selection of grills, all of the Thibodeau store. It's located at 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. And, of course, their sister store over in Pierre Port just celebrated 113 years. Thibodeau store at ThibodeauStore.com.
College football.
It jumped so fast. I don't know what happened.
You got to cue me if I got that hard or not. I thought I had a little leeway there.